Hi everyone, my name is John Paul Kase. I'll be facilitating you in this course unit, Cybersecurity Fundamentals. But first, I will introduce myself, and at the end, after the session, each one of you will have a chance to introduce yourselves. You'll tell us who you are, what you do, your experience, if any, and your expectations in this course. Experience in academia, but I have also had a break into the IT industry where I have practiced into software engineering and research. My educational background, I hold a PhD in computer science from Bournemouth University and a Masters of Information Systems from Makerere University in Uganda. To proceed with this course unit, we have a set of guiding objectives, and one of them is to build a foundation of knowledge about cybersecurity and be able to explore the salient advanced topics about cybersecurity, and then critically analyze interdisciplinary questions in relation to the cybersecurity challenge. So based on these objectives, you are expected to have knowledge and understanding in terms of the following as our expected outcomes: operations of the internet infrastructure and major cybersecurity policy actors. You should as well have knowledge about the frameworks within which to understand and analyze cybersecurity issues. And finally, you should bear knowledge about the current salient and interdisciplinary topics in cybersecurity. So to be able to gain this knowledge, our course outline is defined in terms of a set of topics. However, for today's session, we are only looking at the introductory part of this course unit. So in our introduction, we are looking at cybersecurity in terms of the big picture. And in this case, this big picture is being dissected into four major salient factors: the technology, the public policy, the economics, and the social issues. And we shall be discussing the details of these factors in our subsequent slides. To put cybersecurity into perspectives, we have of cyber attacks that have happened. A denial of service implies an interruption in unauthorized users' access to a service. It may be a computer network, it may be a website. So these are some of the key examples that have happened, and we'll have time to read about these, and we'll be using them in our subsequent lectures. To intrigue your understanding and knowledge and be able to appreciate the topic of cybersecurity, we ask ourselves a set of questions. How vulnerable is a target? And a target may be an organization system, it may be a home. As you may be aware that we are now in the era of internet of things, systems of systems. All these are big topics that are based on data. And when we talk about data, the issue of privacy is very important, and the issue of security. And that makes cybersecurity a paramount topic to study. And so the other question is, what areas of vulnerability require the greatest attention in order to improve cybersecurity? What parties must work together in order to make significant cybersecurity improvements? Is the internet an appropriate platform upon which to operate critical systems, both private and many governments now are providing e-government services over the internet? So, what are the concerns of cybersecurity in such cases? These are some of the questions that you should look into while you try to understand this topic. Why is cybersecurity important? We are in an era of increasing dependence on internet. Whatever we do, many times we consult the internet. If I'm looking for directions, if I need to make communications, if I need to do business, if you are controlling systems, all these are relying on data that is based on the internet. Those are some of the ways that we are directly dependent on the internet. The other, uh, indirect, for example, doing businesses, um, education, governance, and these have totally or partially replaced the physical or the manual processes. So, because of this, we are highly concerned about security. Security in terms of the systems, in security in terms of the data, and in terms of the physical assets. How vulnerable is the system? The challenges of cybersecurity: internet is international. There are no boundaries or borders from which to control. There are no metrics to measure the insecurity. And then the private sector owns most of the infrastructure, and therefore regulation does not come automatic. Then there is also security gap, a cost/incentive disconnect, where businesses will pay to meet business imperatives, but who is paying to meet the national security imperatives? What are the different sources of cybersecurity attacks? Because we rely on internet, which has no boundaries, so attacks come from various directions. Cyber terrorism, cyber hooliganism, and cases of accidents and failures. For example, neglect. An employee may negligently expose an organization's password, and this can be a source of the attack. What are the solutions to this challenge? As you remember, we mentioned that we are looking at cybersecurity. To get its bigger picture, we look at it in terms of the 4 parameters. To be able to have a solution to this problem, it requires both the right technology and the right policy. And this is what is referred to as the cybersecurity challenge. To understand cybersecurity, we can look at it as the security of the cyberspace. Many types of cybersecurity by different organizations or bodies, and no standardized definition has been named so far. However, in this lecture we will adopt one by the US Department of Commerce, which defines cybersecurity in terms of information security, that it is the protection of information against unauthorized disclosure, transfer, modification, or destruction, whether accidental or intentional. So from all these definitions, the salient issues that stand out are of information systems and networks with the goal of protecting operations and assets. That defines cybersecurity. And other key issues in there are the security in the face of attacks, accidents and failures, what security is in place, and then ensuring the availability, integrity, and the secrecy of information. If we look at cybersecurity as a discipline, we can ask ourselves a set of questions. 1. how to achieve cybersecurity success, and 2, how to overcome the cybersecurity problem. And these are related in a way that if you answer one, you will have solved the second one. This overlays on 4 factors: technology, economics, social influences, and public policy. Our course logistics, that is the different videos, the different slides, course assignments, and where to submit these assignments will be on our course page. Our class format will include reading materials and discussion questions that will be posted on the class forums,